Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, MsEbonyVee. Welcome back or to my channel. So today we have another different kind of video where I am doing a meal prep. I tend to do this pretty regularly, so I figured this was a great way to showcase exactly what I do. I've been on a fitness journey for the past several months, so this is always an easy way for me to stay on track. So if this is something you're interested in, please continue watching. All right, y'all, so I'm a big fan of buying bagged fresh produce like my broccoli, Brussels sprouts, green beans, things like that. So I'm taking this fresh bag of broccoli and punching holes on opposite ends on the same side, and I'm gonna cook it in the microwave for 5 minutes. All right, so now I'm gonna move on to my roasted Brussels sprouts, and these are all of the ingredients I'm gonna use for that. Again, I am using the fresh bag version, and I am gonna go ahead and sprinkle with my olive oil, my garlic powder, my onion powder, all of the seasonings you saw before. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it a nice little whirl. Make sure all the seasonings are all over my Brussels sprouts. Then I'm just going to make sure they're laid nicely flat on a cookie sheet. I always like to protect my cookie sheets with some foil. And so, yes, they're on my cookie sheet. I'm going to put them in the oven for about 30 minutes on 350 degrees. All right, so next I'm gonna move on to my green bean almondine, and I'm starting with some hot boiling water already. I've already cleaned them. These are, again, another bagged version, the bagged produce that I get out of Walmart, and I'm gonna go ahead and put my green beans in this hot boiling water. I'm gonna let them sit in here for about 5 to 6 minutes just to kind of cook somewhat so that they're not like completely raw. Now, while those are boiling, I'm going to go ahead and go back to my broccoli, get that out of the microwave, and just add some seasoning, some of the seasonings you saw previously, just to give the broccoli a little flavor. Then I'm just going to mix all of the seasonings together all over the broccoli, make sure it's evenly coated before I place it in my storing bowl. Now I'm going to jump back to my green bean almondine, and I'll let them boil for several minutes. Now I'm going to go ahead and blanch them. Yes, I learned this from my Chef Bay Dirty Rice by placing them in some ice water so that they can stop cooking. The purpose of this is to stop them from cooking immediately and make sure they maintain that nice crisp when I pan sear them. So then I'm going to go ahead and drain off all of the water. I'm going to come back to them and finish pan searing them with my almonds a little later. Now I'm circling back to my roasted Brussels sprouts, which are now done, and I'm just going to place them in my storing bowl. You know, sometimes roasted Brussels sprouts look or appear burnt, but they're not. They're just roasted, okay? Don't come for me. Okay, so I didn't mention this before, but a lot of times I like to buy one of those already cooked rotisserie chickens, and I just take my cooking shears and cut them up. I put a little olive oil on them, season them to my liking for my flavor, and just throw it in the oven for a few minutes. And that's always another meat option for me. So now I'm going to move on to some additional meat options, which are my chicken breast and tilapia. I have my grease already nice and hot in my cast iron skillets, and I'm just going to go ahead and place the meat in the skillets just for a few minutes on each side before I place it in the oven. I already had them pre-seasoned off camera, and I'm using olive oil to pan sear them in these skillets. Now I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle a little white cooking wine as well as lemon juice on both of the meats. And now that they're nicely browned on both sides, I'm going to go ahead and place them in the oven for about 5 minutes, probably a little longer for the chicken breast. Now that my tilapia is finished and cooked, I'm going to go ahead and place it in my storing bowl for the week. Now, this wasn't it. I think I had like 1 or 2 more pieces after this that I cooked separately. But as far as the chicken, here are the few pieces of chicken that I was able to cook that I'm also going to store in my storing dish. So now I'm moving back to my green bean almondine. I have my cast iron skillet nicely cleaned, and I have my olive oil hot. So I am placing these green beans in this skillet to cook a little bit more. I'm going to go ahead and add my seasonings, such as some garlic powder, some onion powder, some black pepper, a pinch of sea salt, and some Mrs. Dash. Just to give you want to give your green beans a little flavor, honey. You don't want no boring, bland vegetables, okay? Now, I'm only showing you one batch at a time because I had so many green beans that I just couldn't fit them all in this pan at one time. So I had to do this 3 different times. Okay, so now I'm going to add some of these sliced almonds, which is like my favorite part. Oh my God, I be drowning my green beans in these almonds. Like, this green bean almondine is the business. Golly, it's something about this right here. Green beans with the almonds, a whole hit. Hopefully you don't have a nut allergy. Now, I still don't cook them as good as my chef bae, but I get the job done for the most part. I can't wait for him to get back so he can make this for me, probably his better way. So now I'm just going to add these to another storage bowl. And normally when I meal prep, I have bowls galore in my refrigerator. So this is everything I was able to cook and put together. My whole intent and goal is to have at least 2 to 3 different types of meats and at least 2 to 3 different types of vegetables so that I can rotate amongst them. I didn't show you the sweet potatoes, but basically I baked them in the oven for about 2 hours and I sliced them in this manner once they were done. But this is my meal prep process, and this is an example of how I just kind of select and choose a meat, a vegetable, and a sweet potato, and that's like my meal. It's either my lunch or my dinner. So this is, in my opinion, very easy meal prepping. I hope you enjoyed this type of content. If so, let me know down in the comments below so that I can bring you more like this in the future. I thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. Please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you have not, and I will be sure to catch you in the next one. Bye, y'all.